Hello, Internet. Welcome to the Empirical Sword, where science plus gaming equals awesome. I'm Lawmaster DLC79, and this is Pyre. In the last episode, we conducted a rite against nobody. Nobody showed. And once again, we are summoned to the fall of Soliam for a Liberation Rite. The last one ever. And we had to face Oralech. So let's just get it over with and continue the journey. Scribe's Gate! Well, we gotta stop. Messenger bearing news and rumors from the outside. Finds you somewhere in the quiet solitude of Montal. This time around, the news pertains to Dalbert, of the triumvirate known as the Fate. In the Liberation Rite, he finally earned back his freedom after many failed attempts. However, that freedom he awarded to his son, Almer, so that he could go home instead, but much to Almer's disbelief. There seemed no way for the two to go together. Back in the Commonwealth, Almer grew reclusive. In spite of his newfound status and the hospitality afforded him, and in spite of Dalbert's wishes for his well-being. As for Dalbert, once separated from his son, his advanced age at last caught up with him. He shall not conduct another rite. All of this shook the remaining members of the Fate. If ever they regroup, it shall not be soon, and you shall not encounter them again. Well, this is the last Liberation, right? So probably not. Afterwards, you find Ray on her own, speaking softly to herself. Watch over him, O scribes, watch over him, O scribes, so please watch over him. The news brings you no joy, although you thank the messenger imp for delivering it, and cling to hope that the legacy of Oldheart. Now, the Oldheart clan is not yet complete. And we move on. You stand before the Scribe's Gate with your companions. The Gate Guardian is there, as ever, but you sense something is different in her. The exiles of the Nightwings. We shall not meet again after the coming rite. Tariq and I. It shall be time we take our rest, I think. Greetings, Celeste. I will tell you that the Nightwings are prepared. Though this time I am uncertain anyone amongst us feels thus. We have a duty to uphold, Tariq. And then what, Celeste? And then nothing. Not for the Rites or us. Not for the dawn of a new age. The Nightwings, step forward. Please state your names and what it is you seek whilst crossing Slave's Gate. One by one, your fellow exiles approach her. Now with a sureness in their step. I'll start. I'm Hedwin. I wanted more than anything to see the one I loved back on the other side, but I think I'll be okay. So I just want my friends to be okay as well. Amitha Thane here. I came seeking my blood sister Amitha's forgiveness since she ended up in here because of me. Maybe something good could come from it, as yet. We are called Big Birchroot. We seek to fulfill the plan of Sandalwood, for we are fond of him and his beliefs, and then to go about our business. My name is Volfred Saddlewood. I long as yet to see an age where freedom is one's birthright, and no longer are good people such as these forced to contend for it. Sir Gilman of the Seed of Indian, at your service! This knight's ever-ending quest for honor shan't end here, yet first he has a noble duty to uphold! Oh, my name is Ray, and I'm here because scribes, this is the path that they have shown me, and all of us, I like it when they call to me. I'm Captain Jodariel. I'm here to honor the commitments I have made to my companions and to the common goal, which we have come to share. Finally, you step forth once more. You, a crippled scholar who longs to regain her freedom, and who managed to come this far with this group. The Gate Guardian observes you for a moment, then motions past the archway toward the summit. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. Except for you, Tariq. Stay right here. I thought you said. The rites are not yet ended, Tariq. He looks to her, then over the rest of you. Pardon me, everyone. I shall be there when the stars align. The Gate Guardian and the Lone Minstrel remain together. As the rest of you depart, she likes him. You have gained the summit of Mount Aldolidildolidol for the 7th time. The final time in which any one of you shall have a chance to leave the downside. Oh boy, anybody want to talk? Nope. Okay, I guess we're going to the slot market. Hey guys! I guess you probably heard of the big news, huh? Yeah, I'm going out of business here, I guess. Just hasn't been the same, you know, with the stars all fading and stuff. Anyways, I just want to say you guys are great, and I'm sure I'm going to miss having you guys as customers and all of that. But I got some good news though too, and all my stuff, it's all on sale now, and I will throw a little extra there just for you, okay? So enjoy, and may I'll be seeing you guys around, okay? Henceforth, all of Falcon Ron's goods are 5% off. Great. Okay. Wait. It was 100 last time. It was 100 last time. I think. I'm not sure. Are we sure any of this is on sale, actually? But are we sure? I don't want to buy anything, really. Because, I mean... Yeah, I mean... I don't think any of this is going to help me in the next ride. So... See ya. You guys didn't see nothing, huh? Okay, so... Commence the final Liberation Rite. You have gained the summit of Mount Aldolidildolol for the 7th time. Very few stars remain above you to light your way as you await the commencement of the final Liberation Rite. The Lord Minstrel finds you clutching the Book of Rites, seeking there, perhaps, some bit of wisdom that has eluded you thus far. Reader, we may not have a chance to speak again after this. I may have to go. I wish to say that I'm grateful for having made your acquaintance and shall remember you with fondness. I wish you well this night, as always. Go forth with glory. Then he looks up and... Then he looks up and he extends his hand in friendship. You clasp it. Wait, he looks up? He looks up? He looks up? Why am I up? You see, Bertrude has joined you. All of your companions are there with her, in fact. Reading one, thou art both wiser and less irritating than most others of thy kind. We have learned something from thee, and we are grateful. Reader, let us reveal here tonight. I have taken orders from many different leaders in my day. You should know, you are a rarity among them. It is strange for me to say, given the circumstances of our meeting, Reader, but it has truly been a pleasure. Onward now. Let us achieve our plan. Let us go through this one together, my friend. We all believe in you. Master Reader, it has been this night's greatest honor to have served with you. Let this be our most glorious stand yet. Oh, Reader, darling, what do you say we give those old scribes a real show to remember then, shall we? Oh, hi miss, the others, they said they wanted me to join them. I'll come talk to you, so here I am. Scribes are watching us. You look upon your fellow exiles, your companions, with whom you have withstood the downside, and with whom you shall now conduct this final rite. Begging your pardon, but my time has come. We shall see each other soon. He departs. After this night, the outcome of Volfred's plan, the plan of which you have all been a part, shall be decided in one way or another. For now, all you can do is strive to prevail against your final adversaries, so that one last companion may go free. You rise to join your fellow exiles as the last remaining stars ignite. The final Liberation Rite of this age shall now commence. We have to keep going until we are free. And the sky does its thing one last time. And we get a loading screen, very likely for not the last time. Having come this far, you need but take the final steps upon your quest for freedom.
Look, for one last time, upon the fall of Solium, dear reader. Hear me for one last time. For soon, the few remaining stars shall fade away, leaving you stranded there for your remaining days in that forsaken land.
Well, readers can't go free anyway.
Deserve to be. The rabble that you roused here in the Commonwealth shall be put down. Your adversaries who regained their freedom thanks to you shall help us see to it. But first, let us get on with this last Liberation Rite. You face none other than yourselves.
We know this already.
Each so unlike the glorious Nightwings of yore. 'Tis a shame that one of you shall soon be free, for you deserve each other.
Pyre's burned and yeah, bloody blah, pomp and ceremony, pomp and ceremony, pomp and ceremony. Oh, wait. Not another word. The demon Oralech slowly raises his clawed fingers to his mask. The false Nightwings have arrived at last. Long have I waited this. My freedom once was stolen from me, then I was cheated of it. Here upon this mountaintop. Well, you're still anointed, you can just jump in the thingy right now. You may now attempt to take it from me once more. He stands there for a moment, silent, then Oralech dons his mask and stands prepared. May these damned rites cease forever for the misery which they caused. But, I mean, you're still anointed, you can just jump in the thingy now. Nightwings, we shall not meet again after tonight, for the cycle of the rites is all but ended. Thus I would have your decision on whose behalf shall you conduct this final liberation rite. The one whom you anoint, or else the exile Oralech shall be returned. Godspeed, reader. You know what is at stake better than I have the utmost faith in you, to make the best decision and conduct the rites with glory. Nightwings, the stars remaining, light grows dim. Your decision, please. Okay, it's time now to choose who, if any, among you shall go free this one last time. The rest of you shall remain in the downside to end your days. One by one, you meet the gazes of each of your following exiles. Bertrude, Pamitha, Jodario, Ray, Hedwin, Volfred, Sir Gilliman, your fellow exiles, your companions, your friends. Together you have come this far, but now the downside and the rites conspire to tear your group apart and disrupt your plan. Are you prepared to choose this one last time? Your friends in the Commonwealth may handle the decision. This is both cruel and unfair to have to make such a decision. Is there no other way? Well, I am so curious about this. Is this like a fake choice? If I were to click this, would the game be like, nope, you gotta do this? Because, I mean, everything has been like, this is the way you do things, because rules and tradition, blah, 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 blah. I really think I'm being forced into doing this. I'm curious about this. But, I mean, this is the way we've all... I am so curious about this. But I have to think about the YouTube viewers. The YouTube viewers probably want to see the last remaining rite. If I do this, I don't know, the game might just end right now. I don't know. So, yeah, thinking of my viewers, and all my future viewers, I hope I have future viewers, who very likely want to see one more rite. I don't know, maybe. I'm going to choose this. I'm so curious about this. I'm going to have to play the game, again, off camera, just so we can get this to this point so I can see what this is. And maybe I'll record it. But right now, so my viewers can see one last Liberation Rite. And where this goes, I'm going to choose this. But with a glance. No, with but a glance, you reassure your fellow exiles that you know what to do.
One final opportunity for salvation.
Oh, now I get a bio update?
The rest of you.
Now I get a bio update? How am I supposed to go back and read the thing? Yeah, I know. Mr. Voice is getting impatient up there. I know that in the last ride I chose her. So it seems a little unfair to choose someone else now, but I really need someone fast in the center. So we're going to go with Sir Gilman.
Sir Gilman.
What? What has this knight done that he should warrant such a courtesy as this? Know that he shall strive with all his heart! Your choice is cast. As for your other companions, you sense a clarity of thought and purpose in each of them. They stand ready to support Sir Gilman as well as you.
Who shall lend him support?
Boy. I really like her little thingy of more Pyre stuff. Then let us see to it the Sir Gilman returns, ere the turning of the cycles finally ends. And maybe her? Maybe her? I mean, she can fly over the things and the whatnots. Yeah. Yeah, let's go with her. Wouldn't have wanted to sit this one out, that's for sure. Reader, darling.
If that is all, then.
Those are to be my emissaries, then. And who it is, I wonder, who asserts her will over that group? You sense Oralech searching for you, almost reaching out to you. You, the shadow of the false Nightwings. They are nothing to me, but you who would relinquish your own liberty for sake of them. Strange. It is fitting, then, that I should have to face one such as you. Then Oralech stands at the ready, signaling for his two allies. See, an impy thing and someone to do the same. By light of dawn, the cycle of the Rite shall cease. Let us see if we can finish this ordeal before that time. The sky above begins to shudder. The final Liberation Rite is about to commence. Tariq, I am prepared, Celeste. Now let our song this evening shake the stars themselves. Aye, Celeste. Let us make short of it. Okay.
Begin.
Whoa, I overshot.
The final chance at liberation for the age.
Go in the... Ah! Go in the thing. There we go. And we got the thing. We got the thing. We got the thing. Oh no! Stop playing with the ball. Go in the thing. Go in the thing. Ah! What the? Go away! What? What the? What just happened there? Go in the... Ah! Okay, we got the thing, we got the thing. Sprint. Pass. What? I passed. Whoa. I banished him! The sky rains ash. Soon shall your pyres all mingle with them. Just then the skies above begin to rain down fire, the final throes of the cycle of the rites, and the ending of the age. Okay, yeah, you're doing stuff. Yeah, I gotcha. What the? What? What? Ah. Yeah, ah! Go away. What? He didn't even have the ball. He didn't even have the ball. Go on the thing, go on the thing, go on the thing, go on the thing, yes!
Be gone now, Oralech.
What? Well, wait, what? What the?
Away with them.
I thought Jody got the ball. What? Go away. I mean, well, that was what?
All 3 Nightwings. The orb flies true.
All of you, you shall rot here. You shall rot as I have these many years. You false Nightwings who would deny me once again my rightful liberty. You who would deny the liberty to all the triumvirates you face, and vanquish under the guise of the traditions of those blasted scribes. Come, let us continue with this glorious affair. I don't think it's that glorious.
How he has changed, that Oralech. Grown old and bitter, lo, these many years.
I passed.
Oralech is banished.
What? Pass. Where is it? Where is it? Pass. Ah. Sprinting! Sprinting! Go on the thing! There we go.
Somehow did it.
Okay, we gotta be devious. We gotta be devious. We gotta be devious. We gotta be devious.
Whatever went out with Oralech.
Fly! And we go with the thing.
Pyre's flames grow weak.
Okay. So the false Nightwings bare their fangs at last. Well, that cannot be your finest effort. You think you deserve your freedom more than I. Then fight for it, damn you! Pass! Go on the thing! Go on the...
You haven't?
What, I had? Ah! Go away! No, where's the ball? Fly! Go in the thing! Okay. Oralech stands breathing heavily. He looks back on the thin lick of flame that is his smoldering pyre, before turning his attention back to your triumvirate. Get the ball, get the ball, get the ball! No. Pass! Who has it? Who has it? Who has it? Okay. That's not working. What the? Okay. Ah! What the? Ugh. Okay, I gotta get this one, gotta get this one. Pass! Ah! Get it! Okay. Kill the thing! Oh, it was dropped! Ah! Get it! Go the thing! Pyre's flame now threatened to die out at any moment. Oralech makes a sound like laughter, but says nothing as he prepares one last assault against your side. No. Pass. Oh, there's no one over there. Ah! No!
And there it is, at last.
We were so close.
The true Nightwings proved their worth. The Nightwings fell just short of doing so. Thus ends the Liberation Rite. And thus, the scribes have chosen.
Alas, noble friends, that you did strive for in vain for this knight's sake. Now it is clear at last that this knight's honor can never be regained. Oralech appears, his head bowed. For someone who has triumphed, you sense no pride in him. You posed a reasonable threat. Now farewell. You look upon Oralech, for what you expect shall be the last time. Any moment now, the Shimmer Pool shall engulf him. Any moment now, he shall regain his freedom and return to the Commonwealth he has not seen in half a lifetime. Any moment now, the cycle of the rites shall end, until at least the dawn of a new age. Any moment now.
And thus, the scribes have chosen. And thus, the scribes have chosen. And thus, the scribes have chosen.
What?
No. Nightwings. Reader, what have you done?
Is this the way to break the Commonwealth? Just don't participate? Just don't participate? Is that it? Nothing happens. Soon, Oralech tenses up. Each prior time upon the fall of Solion, the Shimmer Pool has opened, following the Liberation Rite, and taken in whichever exile prevailed. But now all is still, and the light of the stars above has all but died. You sense a growing fear that it is already too late, that the Shimmer Pool shall not reveal itself again. Oralech laughs to himself. The 8 scribes saved their greatest treachery for last. Then something else catches his notice. Wait. A sudden rush of starlight cascades through the stillness of the summit. The Shimmer Pool has appeared again, different somehow, but open. Oralech looks upon it, but it does not engulf him, or at least not yet. It seems I was mistaken then. The 8 scribes, this is not their greatest treachery. It is their greatest jest. The Shimmer Pool is flung wide open. It seems that we are all worthy now of freedom. What? Just then Sir Gilman approaches. How? What? You mean to say, this night and everyone, that we can all return? Sir Gilman moves closer to the Shimmer Pool, but... Oh, Sir Gilman. It is a warning. Sir Gilman recognizes it as such, and heeds it. The Shimmer Pool has lost most of its strength. You step inside, and you shall surely perish in the current. Of that I can assure you. Oralech shakes his head. Then I am cheated once again. No, the Shimmer Pool is revealed, and one of you may still return, as planned. But Oralech, As the victor of the Liberation Rite that ends an age, the choice of who is to return is no longer decided, but it is yours. Having to choose from those anointed, ere the last light of the stars is extinguished and the rites draw to an end. This is the final trial of the scribes. The final trial of the scribes. All that remains then is for me to choose myself. Is that what you're saying? If that is be your choice, then yes. Why would... How is this even a choice? What reason would I have to... Oralech, make a decision quickly, lest it shall be forfeit. I do not know how much longer the light of the stars shall offer you this gift. Why do I hesitate? To have come this far. To have regained what ought to have already been mine. And all those years ago. Why now would I hesitate to claim my right? The final trial of the scribes. Oralech is lost in thought. Reach out to him. As Oralech struggles with the implications of the choice he has to make, you reach out to him, maintaining calm. Soon he becomes aware. You. Shadow of the false Nightwings. I sense you lurking at the edges of my thoughts. Begone, you venture into a place more desolate than the one in which you have been exiled. But you remain with him. Soon your thoughts are known to him as well. You, all this time, you stood by them, clinging all the while to your faith that you, yourself, could still be free someday. How foolish. And Volfred, the remorse which he expressed to me, then it was genuine. This plan of yours, back when we stood together in the Rites, it was our plan. Then Oralech seems to pull back from you and returns to his senses. My choice is made. Then please, declare it. He turns to you. You there, Shadow of the false Nightwings. I would have you be gone from here, back to the Commonwealth. What? Go, return, and realize that plan. The Gate Guardian studies him, betraying no emotion. The freedom I have sought, my desire for it is unlikely to be sated in the Commonwealth, which cast all of us here. The Gate Guardian turns to you as well. Leader of the Nightwings, please, quickly, do you accept the burden and the outcome of this choice? You look towards Sir Gilman, who regards you with such warmth that no further exchange is needed. Your choice, Reader. I could gain my freedom. But the choice was for Sir Gilman. Well, technically Oralech has already given up his right to freedom. And I really think that Sir Gilman would be more instrumental in the plan than Oralech, or me. Because I'm a crippled old scholar, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to choose Sir Gilman. You urge Oralech to set Sir Gilman free in your stead. It is his freedom that you seek. He looks at you with some astonishment, but Oralech begins to shake his head. No, this offers for you alone. That one, he had his chance, and I surmise that you yourself should be more instrumental to that plan. Okay, I humbly accept then. What is being offered to you is far too precious of a thing to be declined. You accept. And Sir Gilman is not happy, but I mean... this dude is... whatever. You have chosen to be free yourself. The choice is made then. It is done. Sir Gilman looks to you this one last time, his heart filled with unspoken understanding. You turn then to Oralech for an instant. But another instant later... he is gone, and everyone, all of you feel is the coldness of the rush of water coursing all around you. What? Oralech gave his freedom so that you may yet have yours. May I return in glory!
Godspeed, reader.
Wow, I am tiny.
The scribes. No stars remain aloft.
Well, I'm a star, apparently.
Of the Rites. It is finished. The Commonwealth. What shall become of it? What shall become of us? Nightwings. The opportunity to gain your freedom from the downside, was it not enough?
See, I knew it. Another loading screen. I knew it. And there I am. That night, an exiled reader returned to the Commonwealth. She was to be the last. The stars had faded, and the cycle of the Rites had run its course. She found the Commonwealth in a state of unrest. Spurred by the efforts of 2 liberated exiles, Volfred Sandalwood's revolutionary plan had incited the masses. These exiles, and the starless sky, portended the return of the scribes. The rulers of the Commonwealth pushed back. Fighting broke out in the streets, in spite of Sandalwood's intentions. It was then that the winged High-Wing remnants chose to strike. Allegations that the High-Wing remnants were in league with Sandalwood were never proven. However, there was no denying the result of the 2-pronged attack. After enduring for almost a millennium, the Commonwealth had fallen. The new Sacrian Union declared its sovereignty the next year. Along the changes its elected leaders ushered in, they vowed never to cast their people into exile, and they abolished the old Commonwealth decree forbidding literacy. Today we still remember of this. All of this. And we remembered the exiles of the downside, whose deeds led to the dawning of our age, whether they returned or not. Achievement unlocked, true freedom. Okay, so, I can click on people? The imp called Tizo was the first of his kind to achieve liberty through the Rites. While he was not the only imp trained in the ways of the scribes, imps are native to the downside and thus cared not for traveling abroad. This made them useful to triumvirates. Yet Tizo had a different calling, and the Nightwings believed that he too could play a key part in Volfred Sandalwood's plan. During the night of the scribe's return, he stood out to the populace as something of a miracle. They had only heard of downside imps before from legends of Ha'ub the Swallowed. Afterward, he became something of an icon, representing both the fall of the Commonwealth and the beginning of a new era. Volfred Sandalwood sometimes sent him little gifts all the way from the downside, despite the insurmountable distance between them. Their friendship proved more than resilient. He often chirped about the reader of the Nightwings, whom he built quite a rapport. The reader understood him perhaps better than anyone, and Tizo would often express wistful gratitude for all his time conducting the Rites alongside the Nightwings, who made such sacrifices for him. Other than that, Tizo was diligent about his role as something of a living artifact and helped interpret for the messenger imps that relayed news to and from the downside. Despite having gained significant celebrity, he never let it go to his head, even though he was mostly ahead. Although he did take full advantage of his access to the Sacrian Union's fishing industry. He likes them fish. Let's see. Well, Rookie is all shiny, so let's click on him. After Rookie Greentail earned back his freedom, he returned to a lavish welcome ceremony in the Commonwealth, as was the tendency for liberating exiles. It was everything he could have hoped for, and soon he was well off, surrounded by luxury, and choosing between various exciting opportunities. However, he must have given in to his better judgment, as he did end up siding with Volfred Sandalwood's revolutionary forces as he promised. On the night of the scribe's return, Greentail kept busy barking orders to Volfred's agents as the situation grew tenser. He took rather well to leadership. When dawn finally came and it became clear that the Commonwealth that everybody knew would be no more, he realized many new opportunities awaited. He began quite a lucrative career for himself, manufacturing and selling replica merchandise inspired by the downside. His main struggle was to meet demand. An aspect of his conscience cautioned him against making light of such a thing, but the money was too good, and soon his family was well off, as he always said. Greentail always did his best to keep in touch with all his many friends, and knew that he owed his fortunes to them. He made a special point of staying close with a group of friends he came to know so well during his time with the Nightwings, wherever they were. They shared a special understanding that put even Greentail at a loss for words sometimes. Well, she's the next one that's shiny. Well, okay, we have two that are shiny. Well, let's check about Mr. Cheeny Pants. After returning to the Commonwealth, Manly Tinderstall soon earned his place among the country's veiled leaders. However, it did not lead to the extravagance which he imagined. The Commonwealth was in the midst of social upheaval, and the leaders of the nation scrambled to find a way to quell the public outcry. Tinderstall saw it as an opportunity to get ahead and presented an outlandish idea. He confronted the teeming masses and delivered a speech in which he claimed to be Lewis Glorian Undermines Reborn, and ordered people to stand down. It was then that someone threw an empty bottle at him. Outraged, Tinderstall ordered the constables of peace to sweep the crowd and find the perpetrator. During the commotion, the assault of the Highwing remnants began. Tinderstall was later found cowering under a stairwell. After the fall of the Commonwealth, he struggled to hold on to his fleeting social status and resorted once again to the kinds of bribery attempts that got him exiled long ago. He was caught again and put to trial again, though this time the punishment was not exile, but community service. Tinderstall used his family's riches to fight back against the sentence, and soon was destitute. He can still be seen cleaning the streets and parks at the center of the Sacrian Union. There he is more than willing to give his side of the story to whoever asks or is in earshot. Okay, well, let's go with her. As soon as possible after Tamitha Thayan earned back her liberty, she rejoined her sisters of the Highwing remnants in the mountains north of the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth believed that someone such as she could be rehabilitated through years spent in exile. Instead, her hatred for the ancient enemies only intensified. On the night of the scribe's return, the Highwing remnant were poised to strike at the Commonwealth in a decisive blow. They had received credible intelligence about the expected positions of the Commonwealth leadership and of specific weaknesses in the blood border defenses anticipated that night. After a surgical procedure, Tamitha could fly again, almost as well as prior to her exile. She insisted on spearheading the attack with a squadron of the Harp's finest. They descended on their foes exactly as planned. The chaos that had risen in the streets of the Commonwealth that night made for an optimal diversion. Nonetheless, the battle took its toll. Many of Tamitha's sisters fell. She herself sustained many grievous wounds, but ignored them all, and fought with a terrible fury. By dawn, the leaders of the Commonwealth had been eliminated, and Tamitha was limping back toward the mountains. She would never fly again. Soon after the fall of the Commonwealth, Tamitha attended a debriefing in which she learned her blood sister Tamitha was an accessory to the successful outcome. Tamitha was very skeptical of this, but so many of the Highwing remnants honored Tamitha that Tamitha soon accepted the prevailing opinion, though grudgingly at first. A messenger imp later arrived bearing some sort of message, seemingly from Tamitha. However, Tamitha turned it away. She forever resisted the impulse to forgive. After the rise of the Sacrian Union, Tamitha Thayan continued to serve as flight tactician and remained respected and feared even among her kind. However, without a war to wage, she grew more distant even than usual. Those closest to her surmised that her inability to reconcile with her blood sister was the heart of this, though for her part Tamitha never once admitted to any such weakness. Well, the bogcrawl is all shiny. After her liberation, Witch Umdamidlidle fled to her native home in the southern bogs, rejecting all festivities and honors she could have received. She was never seen again during the events that transpired in and around the Commonwealth. Some of those with knowledge of the rites and the legends of the downside suggest she willingly cast herself back into exile to be closer to Islach. Other rumors suggest that her obsessions with pyromancy and the dark arts ultimately consumed her. Literally! If she lives, for her kind are able to live for many centuries, there is no telling where. Her repeated threats of the return of Islach were thoroughly investigated, and no credence was found to any of her claims. What about Almer? After his liberation, Almer Oldheart was separated from his father Dalbert, who had cast his son into the Shimmer Pool in his own place. The elderly Dalbert Oldheart, having achieved his goal of earning back his son's freedom, retired from the Rites. By the time the cycle of the Rites had reached the end, Dalbert's time had come as well. Almer did not learn of this until much later. Surely Dalbert would have wanted it that way. Would that he could have seen his son during this vital time. On the night of the scribe's return, Almer became inspired by what he saw happening all around him. It reminded him of his father's words and beliefs. Soon, Almer joined the fight, protecting others bodily, as the situation escalated. By dawn's first light, it was over. Almer was exhausted, but the cause had prevailed. From that point forward, he worked tirelessly to continue his father's work as a historian and curator of culture. He ended up providing invaluable perspective during the formation of the Sacrian Union as someone strongly connected both to Kurs and his own kind. He found that the Oldheart lineage carried a great deal of respect and was able to bridge many cultural issues between his people as they transitioned into modern times. Not a day went by that Almer Oldheart did not think about his father and gave thanks to him and speak to him at morning and at night. Would that the stars yet shone, for surely Dalbert's would be there among them, smiling down at his son and watching over him and his kin. Let's see. I'm going to save him for last. Okay, let's see what he did. With the rights drawn to close, the slug market's revenues fell precipitously, and Falconron was forced to liquidate his assets and close up shop. Yet, as it sometimes is the case with those of entrepreneurial learning, this time hardship led only to epiphany, or at least a sudden change of fortune. One day, Falconron had a run-in with a messenger bearing news from the other side. Ron gave to it one of his remaining trinkets, which could not be sold. The following week, the messenger returned to him bearing a tiny sum of wealth in newly minted coins from the Sacrian Union. Falconron cut a long-term deal with the messenger then and there. Though his trade remained a gray area from a legal standpoint in the Sacrian Union, the newfound fame of the downside caused Falconron's goods to explode in popularity. He later signed an elaborate agreement with Big Bertrudes and found a distribution partner on the other side through Rookie Greentail, whose own business had expanded, especially in the Sacrian Union. Falconron's goods are still known for their superior quality, though he assumes no liability for any side effects. What? Okay, well, I heard something about Big Bertrude, so let's, Several exiles of the Nightwings cared more for the plan of Sandalwood than to return home from the downside. The crone called Big Bertrude was a prime example. She had found a suitable environment to live within the dismal regions known as Flagging Hands, and there she had built up a thriving place of business known to many exiles in the land. With the rites having ended, she returned to her preoccupations, working away almost as though nothing had happened. When one gets to be more than 400 years of age, perhaps then even monumental events such as the culmination of the rites or the collapse of the Commonwealth are seen as trifling matters. Much of her effort was doubtless due to the influence of Sandalwood, someone whom she had admired now for decades. He had made clear that he could not requite her feelings for him, but what could have been a hurtful dismissal led only to a deeper understanding between them. She maintained an unlikely kinship with the harp, Pamitha Thane, whom she had known during their time together on the Nightwings. They each had different strategies for dealing with life's day-to-day annoyances, a subject that they both found vital, if not fascinating, to no end. By and large, Bertrude kept focus on her work. Whether casting small enchantments or imbuing talismans, the work brought her a sense of purpose, she would say. In the Commonwealth, such services were strictly forbidden, but in the downside there was a real need for simple luxuries, which the competing slug market could not always provide. Thus did Big Bertrude continue to live up to her name, and the tales of her days with the Nightwings made her that much more than living legend. Words are hard sometimes. Well, let's talk about Pamitha next. After the rites ended, Pamitha Thane parted ways with the other Nightwings, stating that she needed time alone. She reappeared sometime after the fall of the Commonwealth, although she expressed mild surprise at the news. She claimed to have no knowledge of what went on, including what role the High-Wing remnants had in the events that reshaped the world on the other side. For her part, Pamitha feigned little interest, making the point that they were stuck, and what happened elsewhere had little to do with them now. Someone with whom she kept in contact was the bog dweller called Big Bertrude. They would discuss all sorts of matters long into the night, and sometimes hunt together too. Pamitha never saw her blood sister again, though did hear of her. By some accounts, Tamitha played no small part in the historic last days of the Commonwealth. In turn, Tamitha must have heard something of her blood sister. However, she never responded to Pamitha's attempts to contact her. Pamitha did not expect forgiveness from her at any point. Nonetheless, she kept on trying to reach out. She said, to ruffle up her feathers just a bit. Having long since felt that as though she had no home to call her own, Pamitha continued traveling about the downside. As the tempests swept across the land, changing its features, she found it in sublime beauty. And in these starless nights, she still could see just fine. She said such troubles tended to remind her of when she was younger and could fly, unfettered. Okay, let's see. Who next? I want to save these people for the end. So, yeah, let's talk about Ray. Long after the rites had ended, Ray admitted that she knew well before the fact that she would not be going home again. At least she had a very strong feeling. She ended up not minding very much because she had little to return to in the Commonwealth. Her sense of home had changed. She took to wandering from one celestial landmark to the next, ever paying homage to the 8 scribes who she believed had influenced all that transpired. She was no stranger to traveling alone, but was always happy to have company. Through it all, she would wonder how her little friend Tizo had fared. While they were divided now by a great distance, he always remained in her heart. She cited her relationship with Jodariel as the single most important in her life. Jodariel would always provide for her a circumspect perspective and the wisdom of experience. Ray always was devoted to her faith, but more so to her friends. Her gentle manner and unwavering conviction often helped them brave life at the downside, both with courage and with grace. Hedwyn. After the rites ended, Hedwyn decided to make the trip down to the base of Mount Aladilodil along the way, and invited other remaining members of the Nightwings to join him. As he was unable to return to the Commonwealth, the news of the country's upheaval brought him much anxiety and sometimes joy. One day, as he was wandering through the downside prairies, he could scarce believe his eyes at what he saw. There, her wings as brilliant as the sky, was the harp, Fikani Shang. The two had shared a love that led to Hedwyn's exile. He longed for her freedom so that he might see her once again. She knew that he was alive, for by then his name was quite well known throughout the Sakhrian Union. The practice of exile had ceased, but she cast herself down anyway. There at the downside they remained together. Through it all, he oft confided in his friend Jodariel. The two would always remain close, and Jodariel and Fikani would eventually become good friends as well. Hedwyn would often think back about the vow he made at the beginning of his quest for freedom. Although he cherished all the friends he made, he had pledged to Jodariel, Rookie Greentail, and the Reader of the Nightwings that they might all be free again together. He had broken that vow, for in the end not all of them were able to return. A terrible guilt over this darkened his mood for a time. However, the others whom he still knew lifted his spirits, much like he had often lifted theirs. All of the Nightwings knew the stakes. While the others who stood with the Nightwings were not all able to return or remain in contact, thus Hedwyn thought of each of them often, and so in turn did they oft think of him. Okay, let's see what she did. After the cycle of the rites ceased turning, the records of what happened to the Black Wagon of the Nightwings became inconclusive and contradictory. Some accounts suggested the exiles of the Nightwings who remained in the downside continued to make use of the Black Wagon as their place of shelter and their means of travel. However, there is no record of what happened to the wagon's contents, such as the Book of Rites or the Beyonder Crystal, said to be haunted by the apparition Sandra the Unseeing. One possibility is that when the Lone Minstrel took his leave, he took the Beyonder Crystal with him, for he was thus obliged. By this line of reasoning, however, the Black Wagon itself should have been taken also. Others remain skeptical that the Beyonder Crystal ever existed, or rather that the visions it granted were anything other than the result of an active imagination or a fever dream. The bog dwellers of the southern bogs offer still another explanation, for they are familiar with binding enchantments. If there existed such an object in which the Sisters of the Arch had been expelled for more than 800 years, then the enchantment could have expired along with the light of the stars. What this would have meant for Sandra and the Beyonders is difficult to say for certain, other than it may have meant that they were finally released. Nevertheless, the fates of Sandra and the Beyonder Crystal remain unknown. Yet those exiles of the Nightwings who claim to have seen the apparition all spoke of her with degrees of reverence, or perhaps a little fear. Okay, let's go bottom to top. Bottom to top. After the final Liberation Rite, Lendl refused to believe that the rites had truly ended. He would sit through night after night, consecutive night, staring into the blackness of the sky, awaiting any kind of sign that he might gain another chance at freedom. No such sign ever came. His fellow accusers started to express concern for him. Survival had become their top priority once liberty had slipped from their grasp. But Lendl dismissed them as weak fools. He insisted rather forcefully that any evening now, the stars would shine for him again and mark the way towards his inevitable freedom. He was of course mistaken. The others in his triumvirate were left with little choice but to abandon him. After that, the exile known as Lendl the Liar was never seen again. However, there have since been sightings of a bedraggled demon who wanders the downside and bears Lendl's cruel countenance, suggesting he yet lives. Okay, this guy. The Wyrm Knight Sir Gilliman had elected to go into exile as penance for his failure to uphold his military obligations to the Commonwealth. To him, earning back his freedom was tantamount to erasing the shame of his past. His honor was at stake, more so than anything. Yet, when it became clear to him that he would not go free again through the rites, he readily accepted the outcome, for he knew by then that much more was on the line. He regretted not having had chance to contribute directly to the events that transpired in the Commonwealth, though he was pleased to hear the outcome. The conclusion of the rites and the fall of the Commonwealth made clear to him that his days as a knight had ended. He declared to all those in earshot that he would never fight again. Unless, of course, there came across some other extraordinary set of circumstances, again requiring him to fight, but he certainly hoped not. He still trained regularly, though. He never found as skilled and motivating of a partner as his fleet-footed friend Rookie Greentail, whom he remembered fondly. From time to time, he would seek guidance from one of his former comrades, Big Bertrude, much his elder, and a wellspring of perspective on his life decisions. He wasted no time dwelling on his days under the leadership of Sir Deluge. His former commander, the other Wyrm Knight, stayed well clear of him. Gilman never returned to his homeland of the Sea Dominion and was content to lead a monastic life on a small residence in the hills. It was just high up enough to make him keep striving to conquer his fear of heights. Other than that, an intense daily training regimen and the occasional visit from an old companion was more than enough to keep him optimistic and engaged. He knew by then that honor was not something to be won, but a contract with oneself to be renewed each day. Sir Deluge. After his life, all his life, Sir Deluge had fled from one danger only to find himself facing another. He had escaped the war-torn wonders of the Sea Dominion, he had escaped the bloodborne of the Commonwealth, and now he had escaped the rites. After the rites had ended, many exiles wrapped up in the ancient test were crestfallen as their last chances to return to their homes vanished, along with the stars above. But Deluge did not mind, for this outcome meant that at last there was no burden of responsibility weighing down on him. Having heard that Sir Gilman also had remained behind, Deluge made a point of avoiding him at all costs. Nonetheless, they ran into each other once, riding a cold current in the Sea of Solace. The meeting was terse and cordial. Deluge ended up apologizing profusely for mistreating his fellow Wyrm Knight, and that was the end of it. While most of his fellow exiles and Pyre hearts yet longed for the waters of the Sea Dominion, driven as ever by their impulse toward conflict, Deluge settled down. With him remained one of his companions, one Lady Seagrass, who... She's a Wyrm Knight, duty-bound to serving Sir Deluge, who had taken a liking to him for some reason. Reportedly, they disappeared in the waters of Wyrm Gulf, which may begin to explain the significant increase in Wyrm population observed in the vicinity. Okay, I get kind of what happened there. What? Yeah. Barker. Barker Ashpaws never had much interest in returning to the Commonwealth, for he always found its bylaws to be stifling. So when the rites ended, he did not care at first. He soon grew very bored. The Rites had given his life a certain sense of structure he had always needed. He missed the raw anticipation of it all. He decided to continue conducting the Rites for the thrill of it. He bent some of the rules and replaced some of the objects, but it was close enough. His packmates, the Dissidents, proved more than happy to participate, and thus they ran against each other back in Jamura Valley. Gradually, other exiles familiar with the Rites, as well as those who had not heard of it at all, started to take an interest. They ended up giving Barker Ashball some healthy competition. His old feud with the Rookie Greentail ceased meaning anything to him, and he forgot all about it amid his new pursuits. Ultimately, even Barker Ashpaws, who had led such a directionless existence at that point, found something of a calling through the Rites. Whether he took the Rites less seriously than any other exile of his time, or more, was oft debated by those who watched him work. Okay, Jody. What about Jody? After the Rites had ceased, Jodariel journeyed back to the Downside Prairie, where she helped restore Hollowroot to a livable condition. She became well known and sometimes feared throughout the land, and many exiles often sought her out for aid with various matters. She refused most such jobs except the ones she believed to be just. She remained close with Hedwyn all through this experience, and they supported each other through their struggles many times. She kept an eye on Ray, who nonetheless demonstrated surprising knack to get by on her own, though Jodariel was always willing to provide assistance just in case. Sometime later, she ran into Ignatius, wandering alone. The two of them grew close and soon took residence together. Why, Jody, why? Who among them was the fiercer was a common subject of debate. She continued training on her own, a regimen that grew stricter with each passing year. There were those who sought to train with her, and she sometimes obliged. There remained one other constant in her life. She would always remember her days among the Nightwings, and with fondness, for the most part. Okay, Ignatius. Once it became clear to Ignatius that the Rites were drawing to a close, he knew it was time for him and the Tempers to call it quits. But first, he and the Tempers decided to celebrate, and that they did for many nights. The revelry did eventually subside. The exiles parted amicably and went their separate ways. He roamed the Downside then, searching for some meaning in his life, sometimes taking odd jobs requiring his brute strength. One day he ran into Jodariel, and without the pressure of the Rites, they hit it off. That time. She denied ever enjoying his company, yet they never left each other's side. Why, Jody, why? Though his glory days as the most powerful conductor of the Rites had long since passed, he always enjoyed the fearsome reputation he had cultivated at that time. Okay, so this guy. When the cycle of the Rites ceased turning, Volfred Sandalwood turned toward the starless sky and closed his eyes and prayed. It was all that he could do at that stage of his plan. Okay. He aspired to assemble with the liberated exiles, representing each of the 8 largest ethnic groups comprising the population of the Commonwealth. They would stand together as a vision of the 8 scribes returned, inspiring the masses to embrace an older set of values, from before the Commonwealth had tightened its grip. With the Rites ending sooner than expected, this ideal scenario became impossible. Sandalwood's own freedom, for instance, was now forfeit, yet the plan did have contingencies. Word reached him that, on the night of the scribe's return, several of his fellow liberated Nightwings stood together, and their voices echoed through the streets. It was vital to Sandalwood that this stand against the Commonwealth be peaceful in its nature, but this proved to be untenable, especially after the High Wing remnants appeared. There was speculation that their well-timed assault may not have happened by coincidence, though Sandalwood denied any involvement, and regretted the bloodshed. Nevertheless, the main thrust of the plan had been achieved. Sandalwood kept busy after that as much as possible, providing counsel from afar to those who would be at the forefront of the birth of the Sarkian Union. Of course, being stranded in the Downside meant that there was only so much he could do. Resting assured that the future of the nation was in capable hands, he turned his attention to the remaining exiles of the Downside. They might never return to that new nation, but at least they could experience its triumphs and its struggles in some vicarious way. So he took to his old work, writing and printing. As literacy began to spread again throughout the Sacrian Union, so too did exiles of the downside take to it. For his part, Sandalwood helped to teach as many as he could. More than that, he proved that he provided the material to read a semi-annual report about the latest events both in the Sacrian Union and the downside. This periodical gave many exiles something to look forward to. He enjoyed exchanging letters with the reader. The reader? You were once an exile, so this is life downside. Now you're free. Who kept him well abreast of how their other comrades and their fledgling nation fared. It is said that at some point he made amends with his old one-time friend Oralech, with whom he clashed during their days of exiles. After that, they seldom traveled separately. As Volfred Sandalwood gained more fame throughout this land for all his sacrifices and his contributions, it is said that he remained steadfast about two things. The first was that the cause itself ought to remain in focus, the freedom that the people had achieved. It was a gift to be cherished, a set of values that needed to be nurtured. The second point he made was that he himself had little to do with the outcome. He would often praise the exiles of the Nightwings who had stood with him, each in turn, by name. He never forgot any of them. One day, to commemorate his birthday, the people of the Sacrian Union unveiled a monument depicting him and the Nightwings as imagined in their prime. While Sandalwood did not learn of it until much later, it is said that he was moved to tears, then by the gesture. It has since ensured that those of us with memories more fallible than that of Sandalwood likewise remember the achievements of his fellow former exiles, and our cause. What? No, up here. Okay, what about these two? After the cycle of the rites ceased turning, the lone minstrel bade the remaining Nightwings take the Black Wagon and seek their fortunes elsewhere in the downside. Their parting was heartfelt but brief. He remained there at the summit of Mount Adelodididididol with Celeste, where the two of them would chronicle the final outcome of the cycle. Neither Tariq nor Celeste were ever seen again. We know all this now through song attributed to them. Some claim these songs originated in the towers of the Sacrian Union and merely were imbued with weight of folklore. However, exiles liberated on the downside corroborated each other's claims at having met this duo that presided over the Liberation Rites. Another folktale suggests these minstrels were heralds of the scribes. Having fulfilled their obligations, they departed the world we know, and rejoined their patrons. One of their famous songs describes another, simpler outcome, that the two gave up their duties to the rites in favor of a life that they could share together. I knew it. In any case, they are likely to remain the subject of such verses and songs, for it was they who watched over the rites and ushered in our times. And Oralech. After the shimmer pool closed for what would be the last time, Oralech looked around him, in the flickering light of the Nightwing's still burning pyre. He then turned toward the fall of Soliam and looked up toward the black, starless sky. After standing thus for some time, he averted his gaze and walked away, without a word. Oralech had relinquished his freedom of his own free will. Perhaps in realizing this, he saw no reason to remain there, on the sacred mountain. For many moons, he wandered the downside alone. Eventually, however, he would reunite with the exiles he stood with as the true Nightwings, for they each cared for him. The one he had called the Shadow of the False Nightwings was someone whom he had thought about at times. He wondered if this reader had had any influence over the Commonwealth's fall. News must have reached him eventually about the outcome of Volfred Sandalwood's plan. One day he appeared before his former companion. While they kept private the details of the conversation that took place, it must have been enough to rebuild the bonds of friendship between the two of them. They were often seen together after that. Still, in the Sacrian Union, no one remembered the former chief physician who had fallen into exile decades prior. No one knew just how close he came to altering the outcome of the final Liberation Rite, and thus perhaps to altering the course of history. Today, however, this is not the case. Accounts from other exiles on the downside have ensured that Oralech's place in the events that shaped our world are known, and shall be known. And that is it. There is one more account, which once mentioned. The Nightwings conducted the rites under the guidance of a reader. Little is known of her. Do I turn the page? Okay. However, some accounts of her begin to paint a picture. We know she was of common birth. Weak-framed, though raised with a penchant for learning. Turn the page? Or is there another line? The journey to the downside left her close to death. It was then that the Nightwings found her. They brought her from the brink. She showed them the path. She pressed onward with the others, longing always to regain her freedom. Thus did the cycle of the rites commence its final turns. When the final rite arrived, the reader's freedom was at stake. And that freedom she indeed achieved ere the morning's light. From that point on, accounts of her diverged. It is said, the voice, which troubled her, she never heard again. Some say she opted to retreat from public life, though whether that is true, only she knows. Someday, perhaps, that reader's own star shall emerge. Then it shall pierce the dark of night in all its brilliant glory. Until such time and ever after, all of us give thanks.
Their journey began on a barren waste where the reader arrived.
So, is that the end of the game? Wow, 71 minutes in. This is a long episode.
When she arrived,
What are we looking at here? It's a constellation of some sort. So I'm wondering if there's more story to be had, or for like going into the closing credits or something. Okay, that's a person. Is that Hedwyn? Maybe? And then who is this? Is this Jody? Yep, I think I see horns. Yep, that's Jody. Okay, so that's Hedwyn, that's Jody. So we're just going to pan the sky and look at constellations. Okay. Well, I mean, this was a very interesting game. Oh, there's Ray in the background playing cards. I mean, I really liked all the storytelling elements and all the choices. I mean, okay, yeah, some of the choices I kind of hated, but I mean, I'd rather have choices than being completely on rails. Oh, there's Rookie. Who's that? Who's that? Yeah, voiceover, Logan Cunningham. Okay, so who was? Oh, okay, I guess that's Ray. Okay. Well, I guess you could have had any name. I still kind of regret accidentally. Okay, vocals actually Darren Korb. They're the ones we hear singing. I kind of regret accidentally misclicking on the wrong name because. I mean, my choices really indicated that her name should have been Faye. Maybe. But yeah, I mean, instead of just like telling a story, I mean, there are a lot of like life lessons that can be drawn from this game. And I should mention that I have a little slogan on this channel. School doesn't teach. We have to take our education into our own hands. And as such, I like to drop little nuggets of wisdom into these videos to compensate for a system that doesn't prepare us for life the way it should. And again, I'm not bashing teachers, because I like to say that sometimes teachers have it harder than the students. But where are her wings? Oh, I guess her arms are her wings. Okay. But yeah, I don't think I even need to drop a nugget of wisdom for this video, because every single bio at the end, that was... Okay, Kristen Wilson, Cotton, Darren Korb, Christopher Sapphire, Logan Cunningham, and Jamie Lana, Ben Costa, Logan Cunningham, Cypress Namut, Courtney, Darren Korb, Sarah's Namut as Barker. More cast? Logan Cunningham. The names are coming so fast I can't read them. But Logan Cunningham is all over the place. But yeah, I mean, there's so many lessons in the bios at the end there about. I mean, what is life? What is life? That will be my nugget of wisdom for this video. What is life? That is up to you to determine what is life. And I'm liking the artwork here at the end, by the way. I'm just like watching at this point, basically. Special thanks. Yeah, all these people, special thanks. I mean, I think this is like the biggest project that Supergiant has done yet. I mean, I'm like, what, 35 episodes in, I think? Episode 35. I would like to thank our families, friends, and support. It was essential making this game, and all of these people. You know what? I would like to thank these people as well, because you were essential to making this game, and this game is awesome. I mean, it's hard. Then again, I'm not exactly good at this kind of game. There I am. I'm the reader. I'm the one in the cloak. I'm also waiting around to see, like if there's New Game Plus. I don't know if I can handle New Game Plus. Maybe if I drop it down to like easy mode. So is there going to be another panel after this, or do I have to click a thing? I'm wondering. Oh, okay, it advances. It advances on its own. Okay. Well, I mean, the sky isn't exactly starless. It's just they're regular stars, not the bright, shiny scribe stars. Wait, what? What? The sky is below us? How is the sky below us? Oh wait, is this like the opening scene? No, wait, this can't be the title screen, because if it were, all those books would be on fire. Or is this like the indication, hey, you've unlocked New Game Plus, Commonwealth is rebuilt, and now the books aren't burning. We're actually putting them on bookshelves like we're supposed to. Is that what's going on here? New Game Plus. New Game Plus. New Game Plus. The end. And copyrights and stuff. New Game Plus. Do I have to click a thing? I keep asking that. Maybe I click a thing? Press escape to go back. Oh, okay, I have to press escape to go back. Okay. Well, yep, that's Pyre. And oh yeah, don't forget to leave some feedbacks down in the comments section, as the feedbacks are necessary for the improvings. And as always, remember, the gaming is intellectual exercise. Just as athletes need to stay in shape, so do intellectuals, and gaming is one of the ways in which you can do that, as it helps us to hone our problem-solving skills. And if that sounds like something that interests you, you would like to see more of, or you would like to support, subscribe button, bell icon so you can be notified whenever I drop a new video like this. And you know what? Thank you for watching this series. I forget to say that at the end of every series, but thank you. Thank all of you. Thanks to all of you for watching this series. My brain is a little fried because of... But yeah, I think the next one's going to be Grow Up. I think. I'll have to look at my schedule and do some foretelling of the future, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Grow Up. And I will see you then.